I think I saw a graphic where all the national titles of the last however many years were all on like the East Coast, like close to the East Coast, like Midwest to the East. Welcome into the Bogey Bro Banter.
I'm gonna find this.
The show where we banter. I'm starting off the show. I want to do this every week.
Oh, you got something like right off the bat?
Yeah, I'm starting off the show with a quote. Okay. The quote's gonna change what it's about every week. This one is from anonymous. I don't have who this quote's from. All right, but take this one to heart. All right.
Okay.
Every morning, wake up and scream your dreams into a garbage can where they belong.
Dang. Okay, I have it. So
There you go.
It's kind of like an anti-joke, but it's like it's anti-inspiration.
Yeah. Let that sit with you for a week.
So last 20 years.
Yeah.
Last 20 years, this is the list. So Kentucky has won.
What are you? Can you explain?
We're trying to figure out.
We're continuing a conversation. We
started talking about March Madness, and we were like thinking about like how hard it is to win March Madness because we were kind of talking about it. I was like, how many teams have actually won like multiple championships in the last 20 years? Like it's really hard because we knew that Carolina and Duke had each won a few. So Kentucky has one, Carolina has 3, Duke has 3. And then Connecticut, you forget the UConn dynasty. They have 3 as well. Kansas only has 1.
Yep.
Which is crazy.
That's under Bill Self, right?
Yeah.
Villanova has 1.
Villanova has 2,
What
2016 and 2018.
That's right.
Yeah, they sneaky got a couple. Louisville has 1. Florida has 2 back-to-back.
Yep.
Michigan State has 1 in 2000.
Yep.
Well, it's like that's not last 20 years. Anyways.
Michigan State's always like Michigan State's kind of a.
So nobody has more than 3.
Michigan State's kind of a sneaky tournament team.
They
like
are.
Michigan State
It's Tom
always
Izzo.
goes farther than you think.
You know, it's so crazy that is the craziest thing that like you can be as much of a dynasty as you want. Like Duke is probably the epitome of like a college basketball dynasty, and Kansas I would say is also. And Duke has 3 in 20 years, and Kansas only has 1. Like why even play college basketball at that point? It's hard to win things.
I've got one fun fact for you, Hunter, that I think you'll like. You ready for it?
Yeah.
That's wild.
So, my brother-in-law, Cody, his middle name is Duke. But he's actually named after Duke, like the basketball team.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. I wanted to.
His dad is a huge Duke fan.
I tried convincing my wife to name our son Duke.
It's not a bad name.
No.
Except for you will be called Dookie your whole life.
That's fine.
That's going to be the problem.
There's nothing
maybe
wrong with
for
that.
you, that's fine.
Dookie, that's a cool name.
Dookie?
It's
like poop.
I started with.
You might as well just call him Poop.
You gotta be. I give props to Hunter for being so crazy of a Duke fan that he says Dookie is a good name.
Duke fans call themselves Dookies.
Yeah, or everybody's just gonna think that
pretty
you guys
sure.
are huge.
I'm pretty sure. Typically, people call them Dookie as in poop.
No, literally, the athletic director at Coach K's farewell thing called everyone their Dookies.
Maybe they've embraced.
D-U-K-I-E-S.
They call themselves crap, but
Yeah, but
we also call them puke.
What if they just
Dookies.
What if your son's friends all just think that he's just a super huge, or that you're a really big Green Day fan?
I love Green Day.
I don't even
Green Day has an album called Dookie.
I wouldn't name my son Dookie, but I also love Green Day, so it's fine too. But
Dookie
secondary option was something where we could call him JJ because of JJ Redick.
Whatever, man.
Wife hated that one too.
I'll wake you up when September ends.
Third option was Cameron because of Cameron Indoor.
I guess
I was thinking Cameron Duke Thomas.
I like the name.
I'm a pretty invested person
Didn't
in
work
sports, like so much so that I went to school for it. But like
for sports,
for a degree in sports, but I'm not a big enough fan of any team or player or anything to name a child after.
I've been a Duke fan for 18 years.
Well, yeah, I've been fans of many teams for my entire life, but
that was my childhood. That was my identity. I would skip school to watch a Duke game.
Let's all not be misleading.
That's crazy.
We all went to college for disc golf science.
Yeah, DGS.
Why do you think I know so much about Heisers?
I have a BF in DGS.
Can we?
I have a BFA in DGS.
No, we should start doing. What are like the online like learning program things that people
you can
do?
get like certification online.
Well, no, but people are starting to do like, okay, Mark Rober teaches like an engineering course. What is the website called?
Masterclass?
It might be that. We should start doing a disc golf one.
A disc golf masterclass?
I mean,
why are we the ones teaching that?
What would we talk about?
How to play disc golf, like the basics. Just like
idea.
we could make. I said it ironically, but we could actually do
how to become 900 rated.
Like
yeah.
The next.
What if we could do like
and look
DGI?
good while doing it.
DGI is what we could call it. Disc golf instruction.
The next YouTube
Yes,
ad,
that's never been done.
The next YouTube ad for Masterclass is we're going to play after the Dead Mouse for how to be a DJ. It's going to be us. Like, all right, so this is an Anheuser.
More on the ironic side of things, though, we should do like a certification and like make it look like a really fancy PhD, like a doctorate of disc golf, and like we offer it as a free online class.
Let's just
That's really
go.
funny.
Let's just go the what's his name?
Yeah.
The scumbag.
Scum.
Narrows it down. Ace Family.
What did they do?
Ace Family. Let's just go their route and just make a completely
is
just
that?
like.
What did they? Oh, they did
like
an online course.
They did like a how to become. It's like how to become a YouTuber.
Yeah.
And it was like super expensive, and then someone signed up for it just to like learn for a reaction video, and it sucked. Like they didn't do anything for it really, and then now that I believe they've gone bankrupt. Ace Family has, because they also were behind the boxing. The like big YouTuber boxing where he was fighting whoever. Did he fight Bryce Hall? Bryce Hall,
yeah.
And then
Kicked his butt.
They didn't pay anyone out.
Oh,
Yeah, that whole thing.
a lot of YouTube boxing fraud these days.
Well, I think they were
YouTube
promising.
boxing
They were
frogs.
like promising people so much
Ribbit.
money, and they would have had to sell. They had to sell. They would
They were
have to sell more
promising money
tickets
based
than,
on
like,
pay per view, and then they weren't getting that.
But they were like
pay-per-view.
guaranteeing
Yeah,
money based on pay per view, and then they got like they were expecting more
They
pay per
saw
view
the
than like
numbers of,
Floyd
like-
Mayweather versus Conor
Yeah.
McGregor.
Well, and they were like, oh, look, the Logan Paul, like KSI fights did so well, but like those were like
KSI
those
is
were
like
social
the-
media giants.
Yeah, Logan Paul at that time
Those were-
was
those-
still. I mean, he's still massive,
yeah,
but at that time he was a little bigger. But then KSI is like
It's huge. Those
the
guys are,
celebrity in
those
the
guys
UK.
were big. Yeah.
Oh,
I do have a talking point I want to
Disc
bring
golf,
up
Can
whenever,
I say
whenever
one
we're
more
ready.
thing on sports?
Yes.
Sports.
I've got a really close friend that won something big last night, and this is the most pointless thing that I can say because I don't know what it is.
Well, they win.
His name he's a wrestler. His name is Thomas Flitz.
What did he
And
wrestle?
How do you
in?
spell his name?
He won something.
Wrestle
that
in
was
what?
big.
College?
Thomas, what's his last
I
name?
think so. Flitz, Flitz.
What did he win? Like a national championship or something?
Thomas Flitz Wrestling.
I don't know. He won
App
something.
State.
He won something.
What did he win?
I'm looking. I'm Googling.
Did he just win a
Googling.
meet?
Hold on, let me look on Instagram.
Maybe he won a national championship. That would be cool. I don't know when. I don't know.
He was
when
the SoCon Wrestler of the Week 2 years ago.
2 years.
2 years ago.
I was like,
I just
I had
saw
like a
this
small
yesterday.
period of my life where I was into college wrestling because it's kind of electric. If you ever want to see a good time, watch a wrestling meet or match or whatever from like a big wrestling school like Oklahoma State. They pack out an entire stadium and the fans lose their minds. And like they come up after winning and shoot off the cowboy guns and the fans lose their face. Like it's awesome.
He's a Barstool athlete.
Oh, good for him.
Signing off.
Sure, that pays much, but
Who's a Barstool athlete?
your boy.
Thomas Flitz.
Oh, cool.
The last
dude.
time he posted was March 1st.
You better back
and all
up
he
your
said was
claim,
signing
man.
off with a peace sign.
You
Is it
better-
on his story?
Well, I'm
So
sorry.
he's a SoCon champion.
Did he win anything?
SoCon champion.
Yeah, that's it. What does that mean?
He won his conference.
And when was that?
I don't
There was
know. I'm trying to get.
somebody else posted about it, but it was like they posted this like big graphic thing, and I thought it looked cool, and I was like, oh, he
Three-time
probably did something important.
SoCon finalist Thomas Fitz secures a conference title in his final season.
Okay, so he dominates his conference.
SoCon. I mean,
Okay,
this
so it's not
this guy's kind of ripped.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he was
Nice.
he was my best friend in elementary school.
he's-
174
we played rock band
pounds.
together.
Okay, but they have 3 SoCon champions. I guess there's so many weight classes. There's so many weight classes.
We played rock band together, but neither one of us played any instruments. We both sang, and we only sang "I Have a Tiger" for like 4 hours straight. We just sang "I Have a Tiger" over and over again.
That'll wear
something
you down.
else.
That'll wear you down.
That's a
It was in
fascinating
5th
result.
grade. Yeah.
That'll-
Now he's the wrestling champion, and
You're a YouTube
and
champion.
I take videos of frisbees.
you won the YouTube.
You tell me which one's cooler. I think I know. Just kidding.
We all know the answer.
I want to bring a topic up that
Bring it
hurt
up.
me yesterday,
Oh gosh.
I can't
which
wait.
was
no.
I am a coffee. I'm a self-proclaimed specialist coffee fan. Okay,
No, you're more than that. I literally
I worked in the specialty coffee industry for 2 years.
Not 5 days ago did I tell my wife at the grocery store that Hunter knows more about coffee than anybody on earth.
No.
I said Hunter knows so much about coffee that I don't think he knows more about anything else, and it's shocking.
No, I
how
know
much
a
he
very
knows.
small fraction of what I basically am able to repeat what my brother
Well, you're
said
good
for
at
years.
it. You've like never.
I'm confident in what I know about coffee.
Konner will back me up that never has there been like something asked about coffee or mentioned about coffee that Hunter didn't know the answer to with like complete confidence.
Well, I
true.
studied it because I was
Yeah,
I was
like,
I was a
you're-
barista. I was a
you're
barista
very-
for 2
so
years.
don't undersell yourself.
And
Like,
questions were
The
asked
point
to
here
me.
is that Hunter knows a good bit about coffee,
And
he
I am
likes
proud of
coffee.
what I know.
Yeah.
So Trevor said he wanted to start getting into specialty coffee. He said that he
I
was.
don't know
he
if I
was-
said that.
You did. Back me up there.
I feel like it was a little bit more of you.
It might have
wanted
just been
us
like
to
me
get into
ironically
But Trevor
saying it.
said that he was.
He
interested-
agreed.
Yes,
Yeah.
and he was
Yeah,
interested
I
in
did
exploring the
agree.
world of
We
specialty
both
coffee.
agreed. Yes.
I agree.
So what I did is there's a guy, a U.S. barista champ.
Didn't
I got
think
to
it would
meet.
suck so bad.
He's into disc golf. His name's Kyle Ramage. Super nice guy. I went to his roastery, Black and White Coffee in Raleigh, and talked to him a lot about coffee. And he had on their website, they had a good like introductory roast, right? So it's like a light enough roast, but it's of a Brazilian coffee, so it has that like chocolate caramel flavor profile. And I was like, this is the perfect roast to start slowly getting Trevor into specialty coffee, because you start there to where it still has the like sweet notes that you want, but it doesn't have the acidity that turns people off to specialty coffee up front, because until you develop your palate, that acidity just tastes like crap until you can taste the fruit undernotes of it, right? So I get this coffee, 2 pounds of it for the office. I'm like, this is going to be the office's coffee. Mm-hmm. I grind it. I bring it in. Mm-hmm. We just make it on a drip coffee maker. It is a great cup of coffee. There's nothing wrong with it.
I liked it.
And then Trevor, day one, brings in as a joke a bag of Dunkin'.
It was a joke.
It was okay. It was just a joke, though.
Yeah.
And,
not a big deal.
A box of the individual creamers.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a joke.
It was a
That
joke.
Hunter immediately threw in the trash.
But I got them
That
out of
was
the
a joke.
I got them out of the trash
It
and
was
gave them
all
back
jokes.
to him.
We're just joking.
Just a lot of jokes.
So then yesterday was the first day that I made a pot for whoever wanted it. Trevor was in earlier than Konner. He denied it. He's like, I don't want any coffee. So I'm thinking.
No, I didn't say that.
No, you didn't. You're right.
I didn't say I don't want any coffee. I would have never done that.
I was thinking that Trevor didn't want any coffee because he turned down the coffee that was in the pot.
Yeah.
Konner came in.
Well, I
poured
did
his.
also literally say to you, you thought I was joking, but I said, no, I'm going to wait till Konner clears that crap out so I can make my own.
Yeah. And then he proceeded to actually wait till
Actually
Konner
make
cleared it
coffee?
out and then get the Dunkin' out and make it.
So I understand your feelings are hurt, but I didn't really do anything
And
wrong.
then this
I just
morning,
made coffee in the office coffee pot.
After I expressed
different coffee.
my like disdain towards this moment and how much it hurt me
Yeah.
deep. This morning, you still have the audacity to come in and make your Dunkin' again.
But so like it's the office coffee pot and I'm making coffee that I want to make. I don't think that's criminal.
Well, was your coffee
I
good this
understand.
morning?
Here's-
Did you enjoy it,
Yeah,
Trevor?
I did. Here's the problem. And this is where this all comes down
Let
to.
me actually just pause everything, because what you just said there is very crucial.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's in your Dunkin' bag is actually my coffee. I flipped it yesterday after you left because I
Boom.
knew this moment would happen.
Get roasted, pun intended.
You drank specialty coffee this morning and you enjoyed it.
Did you actually?
I did, 100%. You're welcome.
Are you actually
I'm
serious?
dead serious.
Well, I put creamer in it.
That's
A
fine.
considerable amount.
I'm just saying, your Dunkin' is in the trash can, in a McDonald's bag.
I was wondering why it was so empty.
Yeah. You're
That's
welcome.
crazy.
You're welcome.
Well,
Now you can
have-
accept the fact that I will continue to bring in specialty coffee.
Okay.
And we'll wean you off of the creamer because now you know you enjoy it. I just
No,
need to
that's
get.
fair.
That's what I told him yesterday. Is I said the
I
reason
don't
you
know
didn't. No, let me finish.
Okay.
The reason you didn't enjoy it. I told him this yesterday. And he didn't believe me. I said the reason you didn't enjoy it is because you don't want to like what I like. And so I knew if I took out the stipulation of it being specialty coffee, you would enjoy it.
No, that's not true.
And that's what happened.
Let me explain my side of the story. The problem
Go ahead,
is
Trevor.
I tried drinking it black. If I drank it black today without the cream, I would have been like, this is gross. If I drank the Dunkin' black without cream, I would have said,
This is grosser than
I would
the
have said, I
specialty
don't
coffee.
like this either. The problem is, before I was kind of just drinking coffee as just like more of a hobby. But then I need caffeine in the morning. I got off the energy drink. So now it was my main source of caffeine. So I needed to at least enjoy it. And drinking the specialty coffee black did not enjoy it. So I was like, I'm just going to go back to what I was making before. And you know what? Honestly, I should have just made the specialty one and put creamer in it. But I thought I would offend you even more than making my own and putting creamer in it. That is literally.
We're just gonna wean you off the creamer.
So
now.
I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
It will.
Maybe.
You
Probably.
just gotta be open to it.
I don't know
'Cause
that.
now
Why
you've
would I
tasted-
though? Why do I care?
Because it will. You don't have to dilute it, so you get more coffee in the same amount of cup.
I mean, it's like this much creamer. It's like that small of a cup.
B, it'll open you a world to. It's also healthier to just drink black coffee,
I'm not in it for the health.
but it'll open you to a world if you just let
Maybe.
your taste palate develop.
Maybe that is
There's so
you know
much
what?
specialty coffee
That
out
is
there.
fascinating.
You just have to
That
let
you
your
did
taste
that
buds
to me,
develop.
and I respect that a lot.
I was hoping you weren't going to notice.
I need
if
you to know.
noticed,
I need
I
you to
was
know
going to
though.
replace
I
your
need you to
coffee.
know though. There was never bias involved in this.
There was.
No, dude.
There was.
I wanted to drink that coffee just as much as anything. It was the fact that there was cream in it versus not. You can't deny. There was never any bias in that.
There was. And I'm very happy that my experiment worked. I was
There
giddy
wasn't-
all morning
there wasn't-
watching you drink that coffee and you just take
I'm
sip after
I'm
sip
impressed
looking
you
at
made
me.
it this long.
Well,
That,
I wanted to reveal it on the podcast just because it was
that-
more satisfying.
But like,
It is really funny.
I
It
literally
did work out.
I literally put 2 flavored creamers in it. Like you can't sit here and be like, "Oh, you loved my specialty coffee." Like it tasted
No.
like French vanilla because that's what I put in it.
I get that, but I'm just saying,
Right.
like now you have a baseline of like you can enjoy it because we'll
with
just
2
slowly,
French vanilla flavored creamers in it.
that tomorrow you'll put one in.
No, I won't. I'll
will.
put 2 in and I'll enjoy it the same as I
No,
did
because you
today.
gotta wean it off.
I don't
Trust me.
want to.
And then eventually you'll get to where you're putting 1 sugar in. One
I know, I
sugar will
want
cut through
sugar.
the acidity. Trust me, you do. You put 1 sugar in, it cuts the acidity, and it'll let you start tasting the fruit
Maybe I'll
notes.
just come in each morning and whatever you decided to put in the bag, maybe it's rat poison. I'll just drink it. And then some days I'll like
I
it.
did say that he should have just.
Also,
like, put soy
you
Connor
do
told me to
owe
put-
me for that coffee.
I'll
It was,
Venmo
it was
you. I'll Venmo
expensive.
you.
I was
shouldn't
thinking
have been expensive. It's if you paid
it
for
paid probably. I probably $8 to $10 for
yeah,
that bag.
okay, that's fine.
Yeah, and that's
Well,
expensive to me.
You're in specialty coffee.
Also, because like I poured that
You're
into
gonna be
the
paying
I
16
poured
to
that into the
25.
filter today, and I went, oh my gosh, like how am I going through this bag right now? Like I'm depressed.
I came up
can't
with
do
we
this.
came up with an
This
excuse
isn't
of
sustainable.
if you said like who touched my coffee, I was gonna be like, yeah, yesterday I was gonna dump it out, but once I started, Konner stopped me and said it wasn't funny, and so I just put it back and I'll Venmo you for what I had dumped out. That was gonna be my first layer of
Well,
excuse.
what I'm
so
gonna
you
do
wouldn't worry about it.
tomorrow, what I'm gonna do tomorrow, actually, because now I'm just
I'll
curious.
Venmo you right now.
Now I'm just curious. Is I'm gonna make both cups tomorrow with the same amount of creamer and see how much of a difference there is.
There won't be much.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you.
Be a difference.
No, I think there'll be a difference, but not much. Clearly, it wasn't enough for me to notice. Not at all.
Well, I got a coffee that would be good with cream, sugar, anything like that. That's why I got this coffee.
But, like-
if you get full on like really light
I will
roast,
say, like the full extent of this
Ethiopian-
prank would have been really good if I was drinking both cups black. Then it would have been like, you idiot, you were biased. But like, I put 2 flavored creamers in it, so like, it would have taken a very refined palate, especially as I'm like shoving a bagel into my mouth with one hand.
I know. I'm just saying.
So like, I don't really feel like you snuck one past me there. So I'm not gonna get too upset at myself. But at the same time, props. Like that's funny. That was a good one.
Yeah,
Listen, if you're gonna buy the coffee,
I will always buy the coffee.
then I'll keep drinking it.
I'll always because I
With
want
2
y'all to
creamers, baby.
enjoy. Because the next thing,
As long as I've got something to make you mad about.
the first step we're
I'll
gonna
hold on
get
to
is
it.
we're gonna get you to black coffee.
Next time
that's
he's-
step 1.
Next time,
Then-
how are you gonna fix the creamer problem? Like, how are you gonna get me to wean off it? Because like you found the solution to the coffee thing. Are you gonna like poke holes in them or something? Like,
No, we're just gonna. I just need you to commit.
I'm not gonna do that.
I just need you to. Because then what we
I
can
want
do,
you to find a creative way to get me to do it. Because like this was way more fun with the coffee thing. Like I made you go like
He's just gonna replace the creamer with coffee.
just more
So
coffee.
you-
Here's the coffee. No, because then basically that's step 1. Then we'll get you to enjoying like a true good, like a true roast that's like sweet, chocolatey, caramel, and a drip coffee maker.
Here's what I
Then
wanna.
we're gonna wean you over to a pour over with that coffee. So then you're enjoying a black cup of coffee.
This is way
with
further
a pour
into
over.
coffee. I'm going back to Monster.
No. Then you're gonna get that pour over with like the Brazil that still has those notes, and then we'll slowly wean you into true specialty
Here's
coffee.
the thing,
which
Hunter.
is like light
this is
roast
why,
Ethiopians.
if you
and-
won't believe me for any
then
other
you'll get a
reason,
Brazilian.
I want you to
You're
know.
gonna love it.
I want you to know that this is why there was never any bias with the specialty thing. Is because I deep down wanted to like it because I wanted to be that guy who could be like, oh, you put
Day
creamer in your
one you
coffee,
did.
you prick.
Day 1 you did.
Like, what,
By
you
day
hate
3,
yourself? Like, oh, did you get those notes of cinnamon there and herbs and spices? Like, I wanted to be that guy,
I was trying to
but
decide.
it just didn't taste good. So like, I can't.
I
I
was
can
trying
only
to
fake it
decide
so
which-
much. I need to enjoy my mornings.
I was trying to
need
decide
that.
which way I wanted to go. Because what I also was thinking about doing was putting the Dunkin' into my pot thing instead of dumping it out, but it gave me way more satisfaction to just throw it away. I was gonna put the Dunkin' into my
that.
vacuum sealed like container,
Yeah.
and then I was gonna make a pot and just be like, Trevor, please, dude, just give it one more shot. So then I could get you to do the reverse. and
If I
taste
would have
it.
drank the Dunkin' Black, you have to know I would have noticed a difference. Black versus the 2, like come on.
No. I was just saying if I could have convinced you like that was the specialty coffee and you taste, you're like, this sucks. Like, Hunter, I'm sorry, I just don't like it, man. Then I'd been like, Okay, well, that's your crappy coffee you brought in.
I think I would have. Well, I don't like black coffee.
I think he is. Yeah, the point is that he don't like black coffee.
Yeah,
I get
that's the real. The point was never the coffee
there's
grounds.
Nothing wrong
I think you
with
could
starting with a creamer, a sugar. I started specialty coffee.
You could go to Kroger right now and go across all the grounds they have, every flavor, every brand, and put them all in that pot. And if I've got 2 flavored creamers in there, it's going to get the job done.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, so now we just wean it off. Because if you wean it off to...
But I don't want to.
But listen, if you wean it off to Starbucks or something crappy like that, you're not going to enjoy it. If you wean it off to true specialty coffee, you'll get to where...
How long is the weaning process?
Not long. If you commit to every day, not long. A few
weeks.
But
that means if committing means I'm not going to like it one day. And like, I don't want to not like my coffee any day.
You will. That's why you wean.
Okay, so how much? Because if I put 2
you go
little
like
flavor
2 now to go down
in,
to 1.5. Won't even notice a difference day to day.
Okay.
You go you're at 1.5 for
how
like
many
2
days do I go 1.5?
You go like 1.5 for like 2 days, and then day 3 you go 1. You won't even notice it.
I'm just saying the second I take a sip of my coffee and I don't like it, I'm putting the next creamer in there.
Well, and then you go to 1 creamer and a sugar.
That seems counterproductive.
It's not because eventually you want to get to just sugar. Because just sugar, then you can get to like light roast, and just 1 sugar will cut the acidity to where you can actually taste the fruit.
Cut it.
And the second you taste coffee and it tastes like strawberries or blueberries and it hits you and you're like, that's it. You'll never go back. I promise you. Because it's fascinating.
You so bad.
It's so fascinating.
I'm fascinated.
It's a mixture of
I'm excited.
So green coffee is one of the most complex things on earth taste-wise. Like the flavor profile possibilities within green coffee is incredible.
What is green coffee?
The plant, the true bean.
Oh, okay.
And then what's actually fascinating is around the bean, the coffee fruit itself, basically the bean's extracted from the middle, and then the fruit itself is called cascara, and you can actually get tea. It's called coffee tea. Made from cascara. He knows a
lot about coffee.
Well, like people who know a lot about coffee will realize I don't know a lot about coffee, but cascara tea is like, it's fascinating because it's like this. It almost tastes kind of like hay. But people kind of enjoy it. I was never a big fan of it, but it's a really fascinating process if you're trying to get to know.
This man just said it kind of tastes like hay.
It does. It's like sweet hay, but it's a really fascinating process when you're trying to get to learn more about coffee because that'll help develop your profile because that's what green coffee smells like.
It is
so
funny the turn of tables that's happening right now because if we were like going the opposite direction right now where we're trying to convince Hunter that cilantro was good or something like that, then it would sound exactly the same.
No, because like cilantro, how many different types? Like, what do you change about cilantro?
You're right. I'm just saying,
like coffee's so complex.
You are trying to
it just made me think of that whenever Trevor was like, you just said it tastes like hay, but I would say cilantro tastes like dirt.
Well, no.
Like it.
Cascara, I don't like cascara
Hates
tea.
it.
But it's a great way of like appreciating what you're drinking.
I understand
because it's the outside fruit of the coffee.
Level.
It's the outside fruit of the coffee, so it helps better understand how the coffee gets to where it's at.
I understand.
It's fascinating.
I like a good Earl Grey with some honey in it.
Is
that okay?
The only true
I'm just gonna start drinking milk.
Yeah,
with sugar.
Earl Grey is great. The only true like correlation to the coffee world, realistically, is like the wine world. Because wine's very similar in complexity.
Well, that's what it sounds very much like
about
wine,
it the same way.
Wine or bourbon.
They're
like
both
whiskey.
very similar in complexity. Because like the amount, but the only difference, I mean, the wine, a lot of it, I don't know much about the wine world, but a lot of it I think comes from like the fermentation process and stuff like that. But the big base of it is where the grapes are actually grown. So that's why like wine from different regions tastes so different. It's the same thing with a coffee bean. But the fermentation process of the coffee bean is how it's roasted. So like when you apply heat in the roast, how much air you apply alongside the heat in the roast, and then when you pull heat off, when you pull air off with no heat, or like there's so many things you can do to change the roast beyond just what temperature you get it to. And that's what sucks is like Dunkin', Starbucks, all this stuff. They just get the cheapest crap coffee they can get, throw it in a roaster, blaze it, because once you get it and just burn it,
I like it
it's gonna taste like what people think coffee tastes like. That's why like Third Wave Coffee, what my brother owns, that's named after the movement. Starbucks, Dunkin', all that. That's a crap second wave coffee because that's essentially like it's just a commodity. All you want is just something to wake you up and you don't care what it tastes like. And so people have developed to like that coffee. People have developed to like that coffee versus specialty coffee takes coffee and pushes it to what it could be and actually appreciates it. And also specialty coffee actually appreciates the farmers that are growing the coffee.
Think about this
crucial.
though. Here's one thing you're missing is that specialty coffee costs more.
Well, yeah, because they appreciate the farmers.
Right. But like if you're on a budget, then like what if is that not a good reason to get cheaper coffee?
Well, yeah, it's the same.
It's like I'm on a budget. Like I want to spend less on my coffee.
With his reasoning he was bringing up then was that they appreciate the farmers. That's like shopping from like a made in America store versus
right. But like
if
if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. Like that's still the bottom line. like if it does not fit in your budget, you can't always afford to shop at the naturally, locally grown
You
stuff.
can get specialty coffee and coffee that treats the farmers right for like $2 more a bag.
Okay, I mean, that's fair.
And like when you divide that across like how many cups of coffee
No,
you get
if we're
out of
talking
it,
$2 a bag, I'm not going to
A-
get like
A-
whoa about it.
when you making coffee at home versus getting it at a store already saves you a butt ton.
Yeah,
So
I don't buy coffee at a
So
store
if it's
ever.
like if someone is going to Starbucks every morning and they're like, well, I can't go to a specialty coffee shop every morning because it's too expensive. Well, if you get a specialty coffee and make it at home every morning, you're going to save money over going to Starbucks every morning.
I don't ever buy coffee. I buy it by the bag. I buy grounds and I put it in my Keurig.
That being said, though, I don't think there's any shame in liking just a nice frou-frou drink every once in a while.
Oh, I love like lattes and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Not lattes. Lattes, I like a specialty
Big
coffee
latte
latte,
hater.
but as soon as I'm putting syrup in it, I want crap coffee. So like if I'm getting if I'm going to Starbucks, I'm getting a caramel ribbon crunch frappuccino because they're black coffee. I'm going to throw up, more or less. I also had my fun talking point. That one I just had to bring up because I got Trevor.
Whenever we stopped talking about that just then, it felt like I woke up from a dream. I realized how long we'd been talking about coffee. What's more entertaining? I want to know what's more entertaining for people. If we talk
Definitely
about
not
coffee
talking about
that long,
coffee.
or that one episode where we talked about dogs for like 45 minutes.
Probably dogs.
When did we talk about
A lot
dogs
more
for
people.
You weren't there.
A lot more people know and care about dogs than coffee.
True.
Yeah.
Specialty coffee, like there's probably
it's
10
dying,
people.
It's a dying industry too.
No, it's actually a thriving
Yeah,
industry.
but I could listen to passionate
Really?
owners talk about anything.
Coffee, specialty coffee.
Yeah,
It's
because it's
the
becoming
third-
very
it's just
hipster.
started.
It's
Yeah.
becoming very hipster.
We're at the
It's
start
kind of
of
like
it.
it's kind of like the disc golf of the barista world. It's kind of like the disc golf of the beverage world.
Pretty soon, what
That
you're
was
going
a
to
joke.
start seeing
Tell you what, man.
is
If I walk out and see those gas prices go up anymore, I'm just not drinking anything. Not even
that's
water.
true. But soon you're going to see Starbucks, and you've already seen it somewhat. Starbucks and other places start doing more single origin and specialty coffee. You will see that more. I'm almost certain of it. Because
I want you to get me there, man. Because
that's the direction coffee's headed.
I like pretty much all coffee. Like I can appreciate it all. But whenever you say that,
We're going to get you a really acidic cup that's very fruit forward, all of that you would hate normally.
I've historically not
And
loved
we're going to
that
put 2 sugars in it. That'll cut the acidity and hopefully allow you to taste the fruit.
because you're right. What I've grown to like, even black, is that like burnt, bitter. Like that's what I like.
Yeah.
I like
even
it.
drinking that black, I enjoy
That's
that.
what I'm saying though, is once you taste what coffee can taste
that
like
burnt.
and your palate notices it, that's when because then eventually you can get to where you get a shot of just straight espresso. That espresso already has the weight.
I guess what I
of,
guess what I have
peanut
to
butter.
ask you though, Hunter, is like, what if you're not trying to enjoy coffee beyond what it is right now? Like, what if?
I think you're missing out.
Okay, but like, what
It's
if
just
you just
something
don't
I'm passionate
care?
about, and I want
'Cause
people
I will
to
say,
also
like,
be passionate about it.
No, I get that, but
It's
like
the same thing of like,
my
what if people
coffee at
just
the end of
don't
the day
care
is
about
like
disc
a
golf?
10-minute thing at the beginning of the morning, and like I don't really.
But that 10 minutes could be like the best part of your day. Versus just like, I'm gonna just make this so I can get up and wake up. Like it'll accomplish the exact same thing, but you could there's a whole nother world out there that you'll appreciate so much more. If you just treat it right. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
It's the same thing as disc golf. Like there's some people who are just never gonna care about professional disc golf.
is just coffee.
Like you see what I'm saying though?
Well, it's different because
There's some
like,
people that are never going to see the world of like plastic runs and discs and all that. But once you get into it, like it's fascinating. It's a lot of fun. And it's something I really enjoy. So I've built a career talking about something I enjoy because I want other people to enjoy it as much as I do. Same thing with coffee.
but there's a difference between like doing that and like forcing it on somebody when you like pour their coffee into the trash can and then like,
You enjoyed it just as much as, and I just check your Venmo. I Venmoed you $10. That's it.
I know, but I'm just
You
saying
said
like
that was the higher end of what you said your Dunkin' cost.
you definitely like went guerrilla warfare on me instead of like just like
I wanted to
asking me
prove a
try it
point to
again.
you. I would never do that to a random person. To
think
you,
you
I
would.
knew
you would.
you would enjoy it just as much this morning, and so that's why I did it.
Here on Bogey Bro Banter, we've learned 2 valuable lessons today. One,
I will be pressing charges, but that's okay.
That's fine.
I wish I had a deathly allergy to that stuff. Just
To coffee,
to whatever
you're actually more likely to have the deathly allergy to Dunkin', who would put oil and flavory stuff
That's
in
not
their
the
coffee.
point of this story. The
versus
story
just
is I
black
wish I
coffee.
would have just started like dying at my desk and you would have been.
That's the other
responsible.
thing. That's the other thing that I really
Have fun in
love
jail.
is so. For instance, my brother, there's a lot of foods he can't eat because of like allergy and stuff he's developed. But because of how complex coffee is, you can roast coffee to taste like if you have a peanut allergy, you can roast coffee to taste like peanut butter. So someone with a peanut allergy can enjoy peanuts. flavor wise, and peanut butter, or like a peanut butter. Like I've had a shot
What
of
about
espresso.
sausage?
It's red beef is actually.
I want venison.
So one thing that we did a lot is like cupping coffee is how you like develop the profile. Like when you're roasting, you roast a bunch of different ones and you cup it.
How do you pick a flavor?
Well, you roast a bunch of different ones and you cup it, and then you taste what the coffee can taste like in a bunch of different stages of the roast and stuff like that. And cupping is like the most intense way to taste the flavor. And so to prepare for cupping, and like you need to be able to detect different smells and taste, stuff like that. I always sucked at it. I never got super deep. But one of the things that we had at the coffee shop was it was like 100 vial of like basically just oils that were from different things so that you could train your senses of smell. So you just pop it out, it'd be like number 42, and you smell it, and then you try to say what the smell is, and you could check it. And one of them was beef, and it's like one of the more rare coffee flavors. But technically, yeah, you could get coffee to taste like bacon or something.
I want the beef coffee.
More of the bacon flavor would be if you like charred it, because that's kind of the similar thing.
What I usually do though, in order to get the flavor I want to out of my coffee beans,
here we go.
I'll like if I want like more of like a fruity flavor or something like that.
Go ahead, keep going.
If I want more of a fruity flavor or something like that, I'll take my coffee beans and I'll actually just replace it with jelly beans.
No, that's the
more
other thing.
elaborate story behind that. I can't.
That's the other thing that really annoys me.
Use like an orange peel as a coffee filter or something.
No,
that's the other thing that
jelly
annoys
beans.
me,
You grind up jelly beans and you brew it just like you would coffee beans.
That's the other thing that annoys me is like to make crap coffee taste better. What companies will do is just throw flavored oils in with their roast. So instead of carrying and trying to develop what they're roasting,
why would you?
They'll just throw like vanilla oil in, and then they'll put it on your shelf. And you don't realize that now you're consuming oils and flavors and stuff that you don't need to get it to taste like that, which is much worse for you than just drinking black coffee.
I'm just a big supporter of like capitalism and like the mass market. So,
but you can be in specialty coffee too. How does that make any sense?
Can I say something?
I don't know.
What I love
Nothing
about that,
I've
Hunter,
said makes sense.
Genuinely, you can turn me into a coffee hobbyist very quickly. I'm a hobbyist, and I could probably make anything a hobby. But I love things with an intricate process. And something that I don't feel like we do it, like we as in humans, not we as in us, but we as in humans don't do enough, is appreciate the process of something sitting in front of us. And I think that every time we sit down to eat any meal, we should, as we're eating it, be appreciating and thinking about the thought that went into creating the recipe and the ingredients that went into it, the farmers that grew it.
Like, man, this McDouble, I just love the way that they carefully laid these patties.
But like
that's a great example.
But like,
right?
But
like you have a McDouble, and then you have like a craft burger with like Wagyu beef or whatever.
From bootleggers,
right? Like who's gonna deny that the craft burger is way better than the McDouble?
If I'm trying to get a cheap burger fix, though,
sure,
that McDouble doing it. I'm trying to get.
But
a cheap coffee
my thing
fix.
is people will argue to the death of people will argue that Starbucks is a good cup of coffee, but no one argues that McDonald's is a good burger, like a good quality, like
in the scale of burgers.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. In the scale of coffee, why do people go to their deathbed arguing that crap coffee is good coffee?
Well, because they're arguing it. They're
Starbucks
arguing it versus.
It's like you're saying
It's the fast food of coffee.
They're arguing it versus coffees that they know. They're not even the specialty. I feel like the difference is like the specialty coffee is like a different room than the rest of the coffee world, and there's like 5% of the people are in that room, 95% are in this room. Whereas the burger room, everybody's had from the McDonald's burger to the nicest burger, pretty much. The coffee room, people don't even leave that first room and go to the specialty coffee. So that's why they're making.
It's because of what you said, where we've been trained into thinking that is what coffee tastes like. Like in my head, if I think about what coffee tastes like, it tastes like Starbucks coffee or like a dark roast coffee. Like that's what coffee tastes like to me.
Taste.
Because we've been trained.
I don't want to drink fruit coffee.
That's what coffee is.
But you don't have to drink.
But
fruit
you know, actually,
an interesting thing
is that Starbucks was actually the reason why Starbucks is the reason why we have sit down coffee shops in America, because the founder of Starbucks actually went to France. And he noticed in France, they really romanticized the idea of coffee.
When Starbucks started, it was a lot closer to specialty coffee than where it is now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Even
but before Starbucks, the goal of coffee places in America was just get your coffee as fast as you can and get out of there. And when he went and visited somewhere, and I believe it was in France, where there was the coffee shop invited you to sit and did all these things in the store to make you want to stay longer. And so he brought that idea to America. Is one of the first places to do that, where they wanted to create an environment where you actually were enticed to stay and hang out and spend time there instead of just like grab it and go as fast as you can. So he's like the reason why we have cool, chill coffee shops these days.
All right, enough about coffee. I got a prompt.
Starbucks is the reason for all your little hipster coffee spots.
I got a
So how do you
prompt.
feel about that?
I'm not even going to
Prompt
answer.
me.
I'm not a hipster. That's the funniest thing.
You are the hippest I've ever seen.
I'm the farthest thing from a hipster.
Your hips
With
don't
coffee,
lie.
you're
Your
not.
hips don't lie, and what they're saying is stir, yes, stir.
With coffee or not, though.
All right, I'm not mentioning coffee
Yeah,
one more time.
new topic.
All right. Not this one, Trevor. You take it however you want. No Trevor clauses needed.
Can't wait.
I'm
All right.
scared.
You go back. Yeah, you time travel.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
You go back 400 years. You're not allowed no clothes, and you're not allowed to bring anything with you.
1600s.
Nothing. It's just your naked
Just
body.
your naked body. Okay.
Uh-huh.
How are you convincing people you're from the future?
400 years in the past, just you and your naked body. How do you convince somebody that you're from the future?
No timeline, anything weird like that. You're just trying to convince someone you're
That's
from
fun.
the future. What are you doing? What are you saying? I haven't thought through it either. So
Well, you show them your time machine that you arrived on. That is very tough because you
I
obviously
show them the Google chip that's implanted into my left eye.
Yeah. You can obviously tell them about future technology and stuff, but it'll all sound like ghost stories to them. And you can tell them about future events as well. Well, okay, so if you were brushed up enough on history back to that date, you could predict the future. So eventually it would pay off because as long
If
as
you were brushed up, but like I would be like, okay, all right, fine, I'll prove it. What year is it? And then they'll tell me, and I'll be like, okay, well, the next president.
presidents won't be around, bro. Yeah. That's the thing. If you were brushed up on history enough, this would be super easy because you could predict like every year what's going to happen practically, or at least.
But you'd have to remember it because you wouldn't have your phone or anything.
No,
with you.
right.
So you'd have to
be a
have it
history buff.
memorized.
You'd have to be a
this
history
year,
buff.
this year, this
Yeah.
year.
If you were a
Yeah.
history buff, very easy for you.
Because my always
if
like
you're not a history buff, like any of us, you would either have to like really hope that a date comes along. And you're like, "Ooh, I know that person from history. Yeah, he's going to get assassinated."
Like, well, I know that in 2022 the Bengals don't win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So just wait until then, and you'll know I was from the future.
You could. Now you would probably know. You'd probably know some of the historical figures from that time, so you could like predict what's going to happen to them exactly. It might just be a long payoff.
I think what I would do.
You have to wait a while.
I think what I would do is I wouldn't try to convince anyone at that time. I would just start writing books.
I would invest in Apple stock.
Well,
About
you're in
writing
1600s.
I know that was.
I would write.
I would just start writing books of like stuff that I know is
How
going to
did
happen.
I just say I was going
I'd
to invest
write-
in Apple stock, and we know we're in the 1600s, and you didn't think that was a joke?
That's
I was
funny.
worried about you.
I'd write music.
I was thinking like maybe you thought you were going to live until like you're
No.
going to still die like when you're 80 or whatever if you don't get back.
Where
I would
But I would just start writing about random stuff that's going to happen like in
Yeah.
my lifetime, like 2000,
Maybe-
2022.
Maybe I would just write like all the Beatles songs before they even arrive. And
Would
then
you have the
Yeah.
Beatles songs memorized and know how to write
I
them?
would know the chorus, and I would just ruin it because like everybody.
That's
would
literally a
eventually-
and
movie.
you just
Isn't
sing
it?
it.
Yeah, it is.
You'd be like, somebody notate this for me.
No,
Yesterday.
It would no any kind of like historical piece of writing or music. I'd write it all down and claim intellectual property on it. So then, anytime they came along, they would never like. I'd ruin so many careers in the future.
I think I would. I think
They wouldn't
I
have their
would,
big break. I'd write the plot to every movie that would ever be successful in the future. It would change every movie that would ever be successful again.
And you just turn it
Inception?
into a Shakespearean play.
Yeah,
you
I
sell
would
it
be.
to Shakespeare.
I would be the Shakespeare because like when they write Inception in the future, they'd be like, "This was an original screenplay back from the 1600s." Trevor Staub, that guy was a genius. How did he think of Leonardo DiCaprio being born? That was crazy. How did he think of that?
Would Inception even play in the 1600s?
What do you mean? Would it play?
Because you're writing for a 21st century market.
No, I don't care. I'm writing it for the future. So like,
But how would
write it
someone
as a
find
book.
it?
I'd write it as a book.
But if it didn't play well in that time, how would someone ever know it existed?
That's just gonna be up to history. Hopefully, it makes it. I'll just write enough that something has to make it.
What
Maybe
I
I'll
would
ruin
do-
Mean Girls. Like
The funny
I don't
thing
know.
is that none
Something's gonna
of
stand.
this is how we would convince them, but it's just how we would take advantage of it.
I don't know if
Well, I don't know. I don't think I could convince anyone.
the
don't
history,
think I
but
could
like I
either.
said, if you know your history, or even like okay, so in the 1600s, like as long as like you just ask like okay, who's in charge here?
I'd
there,
start
and
telling them
there.
about specialty coffee.
When's like the nearest war?
No, I would go back and I would look at the pyramids. I'd be like, look at that. They have electricity. They've got elevators. I told you.
Elevators and a penthouse.
What was going on in the 1600s?
I don't know.
We suck at history.
I really don't know.
1600 seems
We
so
were
long
getting
ago.
close to coming over to
I mean,
America in the
I
1600s.
basically just alluded to the fact that ancient Egypt was
When was
thriving in the
Jamestown?
1600s, which I'm pretty sure is
Was
What was
Jamestown
happening?
1600?
The scientific revolution began. Let's see.
Jamestown was 1607.
The reigning
So
Mughal,
you could start predicting American history as it's unfolding, essentially.
the reigning Mughal emperor in
it?
India begins to build the Taj Mahal in 1633.
I'd be like, hey, that tea, go ahead and dump it in the harbor. It's going to be good for you.
Hey, but by the way, you're going to want to dump that out.
Hey, that tea, it's poisoned.
That'd
You're
be
going to want to
crazy.
dump that tea.
Did that happen?
I don't remember why
Imagine
they threw the tea overboard, but if you don't dump the tea out, we won't have Bitcoin.
Imagine if you get dropped in like right before the Revolutionary War and you're just chilling because you know what happens. Everybody else is stressing out like we're gonna lose. Like there's no, and you're just like, no, it's all right.
That doesn't happen until
it's gonna be-
1776.
no, I
I
know.
know.
fine.
I
It's
know.
gonna be
I'm just
fine.
saying,
We'll
imagine
get
if you
through
get
it.
dropped in there.
That's 176 years
No.
ahead of where we're at.
No, I'm just saying, imagine if you got dropped in
Like
that
we got a
era.
long
It's
time
like,
to get to jail.
don't worry. Write about all the things you're going through right now and how to keep it from happening again. They're gonna ruin it anyway.
Yeah, you just watch them like writing down the Constitution and it's like,
Yeah.
it's cool, but like I don't know if it'll stick.
So in 1642 to 49.
I would sign the Declaration too.
Oh,
How would you get in there? How are you getting in that room?
I'm gonna figure out a way.
Be like,
man.
all
I'll
right,
show
name
'em-
the ship the Mayflower.
I'll show 'em my DS Lite,
You
man.
should name
You wanna
the
play
ship
Mario
the
Kart?
Mayflower.
I would know. That's the key.
Name a
Try to
ship
get-
the onomatopoeia.
No, you got to go back in time and try and find some way to get things named after yourself. And so
Here's
that's
what-
how
this
you
is what I
get
would
Christopher
actually
Columbus sailed the ocean blue on Trevor Staub.
This is
Instead
what
of
I
the
would.
Santa Maria is just
Yeah.
Trevor Staub.
No, you could use words that
I'm
aren't-
just now realizing how little I know about history.
You can.
That is a tough era, man.
No,
Once we on America, we only know about stuff that happened once we get to. We know about like the Mayans, and then we fast forward to like Revolutionary War, pretty much.
I think the best thing to do would be to go ahead and name things like names that aren't inappropriate yet back then, but then will be in the future. So it'd be like
Ligma University.
So like he sailed the ocean blue on Big Dong or something like that.
On Hugh Janus.
I would. I would do.
My sense of humor, they'd probably hang me within like a week. Because I would say something that was like actually super offensive back then. I'd
whatever, it'd probably
I'd
super
show
offensive
somebody
now.
a meme and they'd burn me at the stake.
Well, first off, if you pull out your phone and they'd be like, "This sorcerer."
You can't. You're naked.
Oh, it's true. That's
No,
true.
yeah.
How are
That's
you
the
showing?
first thing. You're naked.
How are you showing a
remem-
meme?
I remember
Where do
a
you
lot
get
of
clothes
memes. I
from?
would draw them out.
And then how do you
Trevor's
put,
drawing memes. This is how in the future. This
Okay,
is
wait.
big.
Here's a bigger question: is there one piece of like modern technology that we know well enough how to get to it that we could get to it? Like, for instance, like, do we know how to make
fire?
You get what I'm saying? Like, obviously, we can't.
I don't think I can create anything. Honestly,
That's what I'm saying, like, we can't get to.
We could reinvent the wheel. The wheel's invented back
Can
then.
we get? Can we make it to a light bulb?
I could draw the Ford logo.
You could come up with the idea of an assembly line. You could you'd have to wait a long time, but whenever the car is eventually invented,
I could create
you could
the
be like,
Ford
assembly
logo.
line, assembly line.
I could create the Ford logo
concepts
and
that we
show
could
it.
bring in. Like,
Yeah.
we could bring in the concept of like public transport.
That's about as far as I could go. I'm just trying to think of something that like started back then.
What I would do is I would start.
What's the oldest
I would
company?
basically back
The
then.
oldest company.
What is the oldest company?
that still exists?
I don't know. The government.
Oldest company that still exists. Congo what? Congo Gumi, established in 578 AD, is the oldest continually operating company in the world.
What?
Located in
578?
Osaka, Japan.
That's insane.
What does it even do?
That is insane. How many generations have owned that company?
That is crazy.
That's nuts. Are they public? I want in. Because apparently it's going to last for another billion years.
The 100 oldest companies in the world. List of oldest companies. Here we go.
What's like? I want to know the
All right,
American.
1600 to 1649. Japan.
Japan
Japan's been
dynasties,
along for a long
they
time.
They didn't play games.
Been
back
around.
then,
I
man.
said Japan's been along for a long.
Is there any American ones?
Not 1600.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go.
The
Scroll
okay,
up.
United Kingdom. I would invent
Okay.
the Wookiee hole before it started.
What the heck is that?
It's a paper company, people.
Yeah, come
The
on.
Wookiee-
I would call it Dunder Mifflin.
Oh, that's another one. I'd write out the entire like premise of The Office too.
Mm-hmm.
That's added to my writings.
There's gonna be this show that's gonna be based off a British version of the show.
I'm waiting for like the first company that I recognize.
I don't even know what an office is yet, but
they're gonna basically sell paper. You don't know what paper is yet, but
food would be one that you could leap ahead with.
True.
You could leap way ahead with food because like things like the cheeseburger didn't exist, but you can get
I would invent
ground
the chicken
beef.
sandwich. I would start Chick-fil-A.
True.
I'd say,
that's
hey,
the key. Food
right
is
there,
the key.
put that on that bun.
You'd be the most renowned chef in the entire world if you brought all modern recipes back to that time. They would be like mind blown.
Would they have teeth to eat it? When is the era of like everyone had false teeth?
I'm pretty sure they ate food, Hunter.
No, I know.
You're thinking about the myth of George Washington having wooden teeth, which is not true.
I thought like everyone in that era just.
Yeah, I
thought
think that.
You know what? That's what I would do. I'd invent the toothbrush.
There you go.
Save everyone's teeth.
That is true. You could like start dentistry, but no, I think if I'm bringing mac and cheese, their heads are exploding. And like I can figure that out. I could figure out I can make pasta. I know how to make pasta and like cheese.
Emery
like, that
Farm.
existed.
I've heard of that, right?
How many like my menu would be so funny because it would look like a trashy menu these days, but it would be gourmet.
Emery
I'd be in
Farm.
Paris.
I think I would start Emery Farm. It was the United States, 1655. It's the first one on this list that I feel like I've heard before.
But is it like a new idea company?
It was just a farm.
Okay. I'm just wondering if there's like
So like, how would you start it?
Yeah. I don't know, but it exists.
Okay.
I think that what I would do is I would start blues music. Because blues,
That's another one you could get ahead with music.
because blues
I would
is the
start
reason
free jazz.
blues
Yeah,
is the
free
reason
jazz.
why we have jazz, and then we have country, and then from all that we have rock and roll, and then from all that we
Rock
have
and
pop.
roll!
So every kind of modern music we have other than classical evolved from blues music.
If you went back in time and just started rocking out some like a good like you don't obviously not going to have like a crazy sound system, but you have like enough to play good country music acoustically. Like if you start playing country music and singing that, are they like mind blown or like what is
Well,
this?
they wouldn't understand any of the references.
No, they don't need to. When Carrie Underwood talks about slashing those tires, like you understand just from the tone.
When did
And I dug my wheat into
Yeah, just make the lyrics from
just
old time.
instead you break
That
the
would be
wagon wheel?
Yeah,
They would understand wagon
Rock
wheel.
me.
you took your
wouldn't
pitchfork to both of the horses instead of the headlights.
When was the acoustic guitar founded? Created.
You could. There also might be enough things. So I would
the
find
lutes existed before the guitar.
I would
which is
find
very
the
similar.
smartest, most innovative people of that time and take
first
to
real
them
guitar.
the technology and let them figure it out.
First real guitar
And I
was
would
in
just ask for, like,
1776.
royalties.
The standardized acoustic guitar is 1850.
But I could play
That's
the piano.
part of the issue. Is
The
like
piano was there though. I could play the piano.
400 years ago. It's just
How
like
did they come up with the piano before the guitar?
Well, because the piano was like
I feel like that's just a way more complex instrument. Maybe they just didn't even care.
yeah,
about
it's not that they couldn't invent the guitar. They didn't have a need for it because you didn't need self.
well, like the harp's got 1700 was the piano. You're 100 years shy. You're 80.
what?
You're-
Really?
yeah, you're 88 years away from the piano.
music
starting.
major. Maybe you need to
gosh.
brush up on your music history. That was in the last
You
week of
basically
classes.
could you play something on the harp? The harp was
I
around.
can figure it out.
You can
trumpets.
figure it out.
I don't think it was like the
Jason Derulo.
modern trumpet. I think it was just like
What
I would
if-
just do that. I would just
Okay,
do that.
wait. What if you?
I would invent rap
What if you
music.
somehow got it into
I'd
the
be like,
history
"Mom,
books? Like,
spaghetti," and they'd be like, "What's that?"
what if I was like?
I'm getting a phone call.
What
right
if there was
now.
like a certain
it's very loud.
like you could like put names on like in like
Sorry
the
about
history
that.
books and be like, when this
Jason
person is
Derulo.
born, like you need to make sure that they don't see the light of day, and it's just like. It's just like a sports team that I don't
there's
like they're
there's gonna be this main.
Oh,
It's
like,
like-
Roy Williams. Don't let
no.
him out of the
I'll say
basement.
this. I'll just write down like JJ Redick can never touch a basketball or the world's a danger. And then like I'll slowly erase all of like the
What
teams.
player would I
like.
do that with?
Like how funny would that be? If like you just write it enough places in history that like people
you
are
getting
like
a phone call now?
Yeah.
people are like it doesn't make any sense, but like JJ Redick can't touch
Is
a
the phone
basketball.
call from
We're
Raleigh?
doomed.
No.
Maybe I
My
would just-
mom called me and then my wife called me, but I just texted and said
Busy,
on a
busy
podcast,
bees.
what's up?
I
think the
be
player.
Like, listen, there's gonna be this guy named Edward Sheeran,
I think it's also
and
funny.
you're gonna want to pump all your money into him.
I
It's
think,
also funny to assume that we're making it through like the first night in this time.
That's also true.
Like that we haven't just been killed
That's true.
by the wild.
I don't think
perhaps.
redheads were invented yet.
Yeah, you might.
You'd be a witch.
I'd be cut to pieces.
That's
and
the thing.
studied.
Okay, so like the average height back then was shorter.
Oh,
so
would we
like,
be giants?
So we'd be like pretty tall, strapping men for sure. So like
Average
they
height.
might look to us as gods back then. I don't know, like 5'11", is that the equivalent of like 6'4"?
I don't know about that.
Am I dunking on George Washington once we get there? 200 years.
The average height using skeletons.
This is the stupid. I think everybody
Was
listening to this podcast is gonna be like,
68
they're the stupidest people.
Yeah,
I've ever
honestly,
heard.
this is. I mean, I know I am in territory that I have no idea where I'm at.
What's the average height?
68 inches.
Look up.
68 inches? That's 5'8". That's not even that short. That's probably like the average height now.
Yeah, I think that is close.
That's
to it.
5'6".
68
Oh.
inches is not 5'6". 60
Okay,
is 5 feet.
68 divided by 12.
60 inches is 5 feet. Right?
68. Okay, maybe.
Yes.
It says 5.6. So yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm dumb.
I was
If it wasn't obvious before this part,
I
I'm
was
dumb.
really
What
struggling
was going
for a
on in
second.
1600s?
Only one
Somebody
of us,
look it up. What's going on in history in 1600s?
I already did.
Well,
I didn't
Jamestown
know
was
any of
founded
it.
right at the
Jamestown,
beginning,
okay.
1607.
All
So
right.
like
Plymouth Rock.
So you'd be fine because Pennsylvania, right?
we were the second state.
So Jamestown
Wait.
was no.
So you
Plymouth.
wouldn't be fine.
Hold on.
Where's the Rock? Is it in Pennsylvania?
No,
Dwayne?
Plymouth is not
Plymouth
in
Rock?
Pennsylvania. You goofball.
Where is it at?
Pennsylvania wasn't founded until 1787. Hold
Plymouth
on.
Rock was Massachusetts.
Yeah. Plymouth Rock was Massachusetts.
Either way,
So I would start Busch
It's
Gardens in Williamsburg.
Massachusetts.
that's a good idea, man.
Plymouth
Good
Rock
idea.
was a
Start with just like sliding down the rock.
Yeah,
Like, hey, you guys just want to pay a
$10,
a
$10.
shallot to
that was 1620.
2 chickens and
Plymouth Colony.
1 bull get you a ride.
Plymouth Colony was
That's a lot of
1620.
money.
1620.
Dude,
I would make
and
that.
those were rough times back then. Like,
That would be Hunter. That would
if
be
we're
Hunter
getting-
Colony.
if we're getting plopped into America, there's like barely anybody there, and they're all starving in the 1600s, basically, until like the later parts.
Yeah, but you'd be reading that and you'd say Hunter Colony instead of Plymouth.
Okay. So maybe I think I'd rather get plopped in the UK
I'd go find
and
out
squeeze
what
my
happened.
way into the monarchy.
I would go find out what happened with that whole Croatoan thing.
Is that the Lost Colony? Mm-hmm. There you go.
I'd find him.
You know
I'd
what?
find the lost colony.
Yeah, plop in
I'd
the
figure
Lost
out what would
Colony.
happen with Stonehenge.
Stonehenge.
I'd
What
start
is it?
asking questions. So these
You seen those stones?
these circular
You
stones.
guys heard about this? And they're like, no, we've never heard about that. And then you're gonna be like, wow, how would you get that information?
Wait, how many wonders of the world could you discover?
Probably not a lot because
could
you
find
would
the
have
Grand
to
Canyon.
get there. Travel was not as easy back then, and information was not
Just
spread
take the
as
red
easy.
eye to Tanzania and find that statue. You got to wonder of the
Like,
world.
hey, would you mind if I get on your boat? No.
Did they even call? They probably didn't call things wonders of the world back then.
No.
Like when was the wonders of the world?
They were just-
What
it was
are the
just the
wonders of the
world.
world? Do we know what they are?
Back then, the
This
wonders
is
of the
just history
world.
class.
We're gonna play a game real quick and called "Who can name more wonders of the world between you two?"
Back then, wonders of the world was just where is the edge of the world.
Yeah. Oh, I would tell everybody that the Earth is round.
Yeah,
Well, they
but-
know the Earth is round, but there were still people that thought you could sail off the edge of the
I'm not a
Earth.
flat earther, but there are questions that can't be answered.
Like what? Name one.
Like what?
Like,
We've,
I don't wanna
We've
talk
been
about
to
it right now,
space and
man.
looked at the.
I've flown over the
planet.
top of the Earth.
I don't want to talk about it, man. I'm just saying there are some questions that can't be answered.
Okay.
But hey, man, you take that as you want.
Okay. This is the
Google
7 wonders of the
Pyramids.
world. How many do you know?
All right, pyramids.
Hold on.
Is that a
Victoria
wonder?
Falls. Yeah.
I don't know if it is.
Pyramids definitely
It's
are.
not a wonder.
I don't think it's a wonder.
It's not a wonder of the world.
Are these natural wonders?
Nope. None of them are. I don't think.
Can you define what a wonder
Victoria
of the world
Falls
is?
isn't on there?
Nope. It's not a
Then
wonder.
you're on a different list.
This is Britannica's
what
Wonders
is it?
of the World.
Easter Island.
It was
Easter
created.
Island.
This is the Wonders of the World.
Easter Island or the Easter things.
There's a different list for 7 natural wonders
Can you
of the
hear
world.
me? Can you hear me, Trevor?
Yes.
Easter
No, I
Island
don't
or whatever
believe
it's
that's
called.
one.
Dang, what is it? What are the? what
There's a
is that?
different list for 7 natural wonders of the world, Hunter. These are the built ones.
So
Machu-
these are the man-made.
This is what I mean.
Man-made wonders of the world, and the pyramids aren't on there.
They're not. This is a real deal.
There are
I mean,
wonders.
I'm looking at this list and like it's a tough list to break into.
I just Googled it, and I've never seen this.
Oh,
before in my life.
that Chinese stone.
The Great Wall of China
oh,
is on there.
that's not what I was gonna say.
Chichen Itza.
Chichen Itza,
Christ the
Petra, Machu Picchu,
Top-
Christ the
I was gonna
Redeemer,
say Machu
the
Picchu.
Colosseum,
The Great
and
Pyramid
Taj
of
Mahal.
Giza is on mine.
I'm not really sure why
It's
you
not
guys
on
are
mine.
saying all
See,
that.
we
I was
have
gonna
the
guess
exact
them.
same list, but the Great Pyramids of Giza are
What
on this one.
who made your list?
It says Forbes. Can you name the 7 wonders of the world? And on there is the Great Pyramids
Well,
of
then
Giza.
it's not the same list because I had.
So
7.
then those aren't the 7 wonders of the world.
Well, Forbes doesn't get to decide the.
No,
wonders
I'm
of
just
the world.
saying that can't be if people are disagreeing on it.
No, I agree. I don't know who gets to decide. But wait? There has to be a difference between our list because if we both had 7 things, that's what
I don't know.
I'm looking.
I
to
know
see.
Victoria Falls is a wonder of the world because that was like a thing when I was there.
What is the difference between these 2 lists? There's definitely one on. What was on mine that wasn't on yours? Victoria Falls might be a natural one.
You're thinking about Victor's Falls.
Anytime I hear wonders of the world referenced in anything, it's always them saying that this is going to be the 8th wonder of the world. So I just always know there's 7 because
At one point, Natural Bridge was called the like 8th wonder of the world.
That's stupid.
Locally.
It's not. Yeah, I mean that's like the most Virginia thing I've ever heard in my life.
Natural wonders of the
It's
world.
a cool thing.
The Northern Lights.
cool.
But it.
What does wonders of the world mean?
The Grand Canyon.
Like you don't know about it, or like
I think it's just like the craziest thing.
There's like
Paracutin.
Yeah,
Victoria Falls.
because like
Mount Everest.
and the fact that the pyramids aren't on
Great
there is
Barrier
pretty
Reef.
crazy.
like if these
Harbor of Rio de Janeiro.
if all these things are like wonders of the world, then like iPhone should be on there. I mean,
yeah, no, you're right.
like
Let's make a
So
new
what we've
wonders of the
discovered,
world.
what we've discovered
Wait,
here is that
Wait, that's
no
what we
one-
need to do.
Here's
no
our
one
new
knows the wonders of the world.
New wonders of the world list. We each go around and we pick one draft style. So
Okay.
Konner, you like the iPhone? That's a great one. The iPhone is like a smartphone. Like
Smartphone.
that's a wonder of the
Yeah,
world.
and you go- and you go
That's
broader.
most powerful computer to date in your pocket.
Lucky Charms. They put marshmallows in cereal.
Okay, that's
That's
stupid.
just stupid. Are we taking this serious
You're
or are we
not
doing
even
Lucky
trying
Charms?
right now. This is serious.
By making a list of wonders of the world that is fake, it is automatic.
This is serious. Mine is the
His
most
is a good
powerful
one.
computer to date.
When-
in your
okay,
pocket,
when are we- when
and
are we-
yours is marshmallows.
When is the date?
They've had marshmallows have been around for thousands of years.
When are we starting the date? No, but they didn't. Put
Yours
it in
is
cereal.
marshmallows and grain.
They put the marshmallows in the cereal.
If
All
you
right,
went
then.
back to the
Charms. Okay,
1600s and invented Lucky
The chicken
Charms,
sandwich.
they would be like, okay, you're a
That-
normal guy.
The chicken sandwich.
If we're going on
Chicken
Trevor's
sandwich?
mindset, chicken sandwich.
yeah. You can't try too hard with
I'm
fake
just saying,
segments
if
like
you
this,
went to
or
the
else we're
1600s,
gonna actually have heated
if you were
arguments about
dropped
it.
in the 1600s naked and you'd be like, "There's this thing called Lucky Charms," I'd be like, "What is that?" And you're like, "It's marshmallows."
They'd
and
first say-
grain," and
they'd
they'd be like,
first
"Yeah, I
say-
had that for breakfast."
No, they would first say, "What's a marshmallow?"
No,
And you'd be like, "Okay,
marshmallows
sorry,
existed
let's
for
kill your
thousands of
cow.
years.
Let's kill your cow and get the
Listen,
bone marrow out. Whip it up.
If it
There'll
wasn't
be a marshmallow.
if it wasn't
Whip it up.
amazing, they wouldn't have made so much money and success off of it all those years later.
You're right.
So
You're right.
don't
And I'm
hate
sorry.
on it.
I'm sorry, but I felt.
If you're
like it
gonna
was
listen, the
comical.
only way we're ever gonna prevent crazy
I don't
blow
think-
up arguments when we have segments
I don't
like
think
this is
food
by
can
taking
be-
them less seriously.
I don't think food can be a wonder
Can
of the
we
world.
agree with that?
I don't think food can be a wonder
Okay,
of the
so
world.
no food. When does the date start? Because now we're getting
All
serious.
time. This
Yeah.
is the goat.
So this is
Oh,
just.
so the craziest things ever. Well, then if
That's
'cause,
why
like,
the
is-
smartphone's a
is-
great one.
So smartphone, because I would say like, is the computer like considered?
No, because this is just
Okay.
as powerful as the original computer.
Okay, I would say like the Mars rover probably goes on that list,
See?
or maybe like the
Getting
Hubble
there.
telescope. I'm gonna go with
Or-
the Hubble telescope.
Great.
I don't know. Based off of what the regular wonders of the world are, I feel like you could just say Mars, because they had like Mount Everest on there.
No, this is the man-made one. This not
Well,
the man-made.
world is like just Earth.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to put the car on there. Like the automobile has to.
I'm gonna go with
True.
Has to be. It's like changed everything. Or the plane.
I'm gonna
Motorized transportation.
I'm gonna let Konner get to that one because that's a Konner thought.
Okay.
I'm
Motorized
going with-
transportation. Flight. The Wright brothers.
The arrow. The disc, beveled edge disc.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
I was like, what? This just said.
I was trying to think of the first beveled edge disc. I don't even think I got it right.
The firearm probably goes on this list too.
I'll go with.
That's controversial.
True.
I want to come up with one on my
Very
own.
controversial.
Darn it!
It's not controversial.
I'm going with.
Yeah, well,
trying to think of something I do every day.
Coffee.
Hot water heater.
yeah, you would think coffee would be a
Hot water heater's good.
hot water heater.
You know what? It's always funny to me that they call it a hot water heater because you're not heating hot water, you're heating
Heating
water.
water, making it
So it's
hot.
just a water heater.
A water heater.
I'm not making fun of you.
No,
Everybody,
I'm just-
I say hot water heater.
I was
as well.
trying to think of something that I use every day and I take for granted that like people back in the day would be like, wait a minute, I
Yeah.
don't have to heat this over
That's
a
smart.
fire to have a
Water
warm
heater.
bath.
Yeah, that is great. So basically,
more
just-
like electricity.
Electricity.
Yeah, I would say like electricity.
Oh, I didn't know we were going super broad.
It's like, well, I
Then
mean,
electricity takes his smartphone away.
Yeah, you're right.
you're right. So is the computer.
Because then his would just be like, oh, the computer.
This is
chip.
it. This is tough. This is
TV.
why we can't take this too seriously.
Great.
Television.
Television.
Yeah, that's great.
Hot water heater, television,
Are we just gonna?
smartphone. What was yours?
I said, well, Really, it should just be space travel in general.
Space travel.
I'm just saying the NASA
Okay, we're back to you. We're back to you, Trevor.
Anything that can get to space and do things successfully, that's
We're back to you for number 5. We need 7.
We're not. We're gonna. I'm leaving the car thing for Konner to take if he wants
Yeah,
it. He's
I
the
already
car
said
guy.
motorized transportation.
No,
It wasn't your turn.
That wasn't your turn.
And you just took.
my
And
apologies.
you just took.
I'm sorry.
TV.
Internet.
Internet. Great one.
I mean, it has to
Boom.
be on there.
That does. You're right. Crap. This is.
Oh, you could do like the credit card, because that's another thing that's like a huge staple.
No, that's just bartering.
Combustible engine.
Well, everything can be broken down, but we agree we're not going to do that.
I like the combustible engine.
Okay, so we're not doing combustible engine. But then, like, how do you choose train and not car? Or how do you choose car and not
That's why I said
motorcycle?
Motorized propelled transportation.
Okay,
Like
so I'll
motorized-
let you take that one. So I'm coming. It's back. It's still on me. Well, when it gets to you,
This
you
is the
can say
last
it.
one then.
This is the last one for me, and then Konner can take what he wants. Oh boy. Oh boy. There's a lot of pressure.
What is like a staple of
one
the
wheel
world that we haven't?
the one wheel.
What's like a staple of everything that we haven't? You could say fast food.
the nuclear bomb.
That's not a wonder. That's a terror of the world.
Still a wonder. I
I'm
wonder
terrified.
about it. I wonder about
I wonder
how
if it's going to get
terrified
dropped on us.
But I mean, seriously, that
Rubber.
This man just took it all the way down to an element.
It's used in so much, but like,
We need it.
where'd it come from? Where did it go?
Trees.
Rubber.
Comes from trees.
Mine is
How would your life exist without
Disney.
rubber? You're taking that over motorized transportation?
No, I'm just kidding.
Disney. That's so.
Mine is
This list would be way more
adamantium.
funny if we all did ironic ones. Like it would be way more funny. I think we should all tweet ironic wonders of the world so that we can have things like pepperoni pizza and Lucky Charms and like talk shows on there.
All right. You know
Danish
what?
people.
Here's what we're gonna
Most
do.
important inventions of the last 1,000 years.
No, here's what we're gonna do. We'll go now that we have our true wonders of the world.
That's our true wonders.
Which are what? Smartphone.
And that is in stone too. If somebody that's
smartphone.
official.
What was yours? Smartphone.
Space travel.
Space travel. What was the frick was mine?
Rubber.
No,
Rubber.
your first one was,
first one was,
what-
Oh, hot water heater.
hot water heater, space travel, rubber, hot water heater,
So we have
television.
television,
Internet.
smartphone, hot water heater, internet, space travel, rubber, and motorized transportation.
No, change your mind to Disney.
That's the wonder. That's the foundation. Serious wonders of the world.
Roller coasters, though.
No, now we'll do ironic. So this,
Okay,
you want to
okay.
put Lucky Charms? There's no rules, just stuff that you like.
I mean,
wonders of the world. We
I feel like
each
we've already
get.
sold the joke, but
No,
How many
we're
we-
back.
Okay.
My first one, Kevin
7.
Hart.
Kevin Hart, Wonder of the World. That's a great pick. That is a fantastic.
oh
pick.
no, frozen pizza.
Frozen pizza number
We
two.
could have
that's
put
a
the
very good
microwave.
one.
We could have actually put microwaves on the
microwave's
real
pretty good,
one.
Too late.
Microwave
Too late.
technology is a big deal.
Um,
Oh, I got another great one. All mine are gonna be food. I feel like.
I'm going with something that I like can't live
Oh
without.
no, I got a good one.
Mine is Starbucks coffee.
Dude, what the frick? It's my turn.
That is just a joke,
Don't
though.
overthink it. It's an
No,
it's an ironic list.
no.
Oh, you're having trouble overthinking a question? That's hypocritical. Anything.
Under Armour shoes.
It's his list, man.
My list.
No
Laugh at
list,
me again.
no
It's his
list
list.
shaming.
Mine is
Whoa.
just really thinking hard about it. KC plastic.
Nice.
Good. I'm gonna say Vine. I think it shaped
Dang,
me.
that's a good one.
I think
great
Vine
one.
shaped
That
me
is a
lot.
great one. I've got my next one.
How many people even know
This is
what
my
Vine
last
is
one.
anymore?
This is
Are
my
we-
last
we're
one.
not
I gotta
that
be
old.
serious here.
Mine is very good.
I'm very serious about all this.
Krispy Kreme donuts.
That is such a good one.
That's a wonder
Honestly.
of the world.
That is a
Warm.
Here's
Krispy
this
Kreme
one. I know we're
donuts.
choosing
Yeah, the
ironic
warm-
ones, but this one needs to be added to the regular ones.
Why'd you? Okay.
PewDiePie.
You know, I've never seen a PewDiePie video.
Ooh, missed out on a lot.
I'm
You
not
still
really.
go back?
I'm honestly not really sure if I have either.
Oh,
I never watched a single one.
But we wouldn't be doing what we were doing if it wasn't for
pretty funny
PewDiePie.
guy.
All right. We're just gonna pick one now. We're just keep going list.
Let's keep going.
Favorite YouTuber of all time.
Favorite YouTuber
Of all time.
Of all time. If
Oh
you could
my
watch
God.
one YouTuber,
So if you could only watch one
if
YouTube
one
channel,
YouTuber was going to make a video every day, and that if they were going to, and that's the only video you could watch for the rest of your life, is the video they put out once a day, every day.
Oh, yeah.
Who would it be?
So you're basically.
is this YouTuber or YouTube
YouTuber.
channel?
It can be channel.
channel's probably fair.
That's fair.
Because then you could just say like the Discovery Channel YouTube, and then
this
you could
is
just watch
Sure.
Discovery
so-
Channel clips.
I gotta
if
think
you
of-
want to do that,
I'm
that's
not
I
gonna
fine.
gotta
say
think
that,
of
though. I'm not
it's
saying
crazy
that,
because you have
I've got mine locked
You
in.
have to think of content that you can't get anywhere else because like I could say a certain like something related to a sport, but I can consume that sport.
No, yeah.
Other places, there's certain things that
Yeah.
you're really only getting from YouTube.
No,
I
that's
just don't-
that's why I'm saying YouTuber.
I don't
like
watch
someone who
YouTube
like just
anymore,
creates
though.
YouTube
I
content.
know.
But
This
yeah,
would've-
you did.
Yeah, I know.
all of us did.
This would have been very easy for me to answer. A few
I've
years
got okay.
ago.
Mine's Casey Neistat, 100%. I've never seen that guy put out a video I didn't enjoy.
He did,
Yeah.
The problem is you're going to get about.
He's
Oh,
definitely
you're
up
saying they
there.
make one.
They
a
make
day.
one every day.
Okay, I was saying the problem is you're never going to get.
And plus
one.
his daily vlogs, like that's how I used to start my day.
He's definitely up there.
It's got to be Casey Neistat. No doubt.
No doubt, no doubt. 100%.
My second pick, if y'all wants to steal it, would be the
I-
Sidemen because they're very funny.
Let me go through my subscriptions really quick. It's been a while.
I don't really subscribe anymore on YouTube.
I don't anymore. I used to though. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I used to.
I still spend a lot of time on YouTube.
Good Mythical Morning, Rhett and Link. That's
That's
a good
great
one.
one. I enjoy that. See,
See, I
haven't
go
watched it in a
through
while.
Rhett and Link phases though.
Ex-
I would get
me
tired
too.
of it.
I never really.
It's
watched
like
them.
once a year I binge.
Yeah, I
all
go
the
hardcore
Good Mythical
in it.
Morning episodes.
I know
And
the
then
answer.
I get sick of
I
it.
know the
Yep.
answer. I forget. Well, no, but I can consume that on TV.
But I've
really
never
easily.
gotten. There's never been a day where I was
I was
sick of
gonna
Casey
say
Neistat
binging with
videos.
Babish because I love food YouTube. It's probably my favorite
Yeah.
part of YouTube.
Never even watched that.
But the problem is I can watch the Food Network. I need to find something that I'm really only getting from that YouTube channel.
It's really just the person, is more than anything.
There's a YouTube
There's
channel.
not anybody that I
really
miss
like
that
a YouTube.
much.
I really like this YouTube channel, Donut Media, that does a lot of really good car, like entertaining, funny car content that I really enjoy. And I would enjoy that every day watching it. But I think my answer would probably be Peter McKinnon, who's a filmmaker YouTuber. But he used to like mainly just do tutorials and
He used
stuff.
to do magic if you go way back.
Yeah, he did. But he actually now his channel has evolved to where he does like everything. Like they're like vlogs where sometimes he'll talk about he's really big into coffee. Sometimes he'll talk about coffee. Sometimes he'll talk about billiards. Sometimes he'll talk about his Ford Raptor. Sometimes he'll talk about his four-wheelers or his jet skis, or he'll talk about camera
I
stuff.
know
So
the
I feel
answer.
like that's like I would never get bored because every one of his videos are different and
I
his
got a great
personality is
answer.
great.
Here's my answer, Dude Perfect.
Yep. It's a good one.
That's a good one.
I'm always gonna be entertained. by
It
Dude
also is good
Perfect.
picking a group because like if you start hating one of the people, there's like
Yeah.
four other to choose from.
That's a really tough one, but
Yeah.
I think Dude Perfect.
But Casey Neistat,
always enjoy
100%.
a Dude Perfect video.
It was always Casey Neistat. Was
And
by
now that I
far
have
my
a
favorite
now
YouTuber.
that I have a son too, like he's gonna like that's gonna be an easy one to throw on the TV for him to watch. Dude Perfect.
Dude, perfect.
Dude, perfect.
It's nice. Nude perfect.
Need Perfect.
Oh, we can't spoil that one. It's coming out soon.
Patreon exclusive.
All right. This episode has been about an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we're good to wrap it up there.
I think that we
That was really
need
fun.
to figure out a sound effect that we're going to try to make because I think
Can I
it's
come up with
hilarious.
You know what? Your best imitation of a drip coffee maker.
No. What is
Okay,
that?
fine.
Well, okay. Well, can I do my Keurig? Because that's the one I know the most. Because I typically use my Keurig.
You know, like at the
That
end,
was actually really good.
like at the end when it's trying to push out the last few.
I
don't
100%
make
could see
enough
that.
Here's how my Keurig
Or like-
goes, okay? When it first it sucks in the water, it goes like it does like one of those.
That's a good noise.
Okay.
pretty good.
That's fair.
And then you just hear
Then
this. You hear a you hear a of like the water starting to boil. And then you
Yeah,
finally hear
yeah.
the trickle. I can't make a good trickle noise, but that was a better
That's pretty
attempt than
good.
I would have had.
All right, I got mine. This is it.
But that first noise is really what's iconic about the Keurig.
Konner, you can't just make a fart noise for every sound effect that comes up.
Can.
I'm trying to do the.
Its sound effects are hard.
I can't do it. I'm trying to do the.
We should do a disc
the
golf.
slow running.
You guys
thing.
know
I
the
can't
job
do
that's
it
like the
very well.
Foley, the person that makes sound effects.
Yeah.
We should do a disc golf Foley competition where we'd have to take a disc golf clip and make the sound effects for the clip. And we can't use any disc golf related objects and just see.
But like, what about chains?
Well, you're gonna have to find different chains.
Or you just use two metal things and cling them together.
Yeah.
That we
All
should,
right.
we,
Well, there
should-
it
we
is.
have to just use things in the office.
Yes, it has to be in the office.
All right.